Hello everyone, and welcome to Through the Covers. I'm Fred, and I'm really excited to finally get this podcast started. If you're someone who loves cricket conversations beyond just match highlights, then this podcast is for you. Through the Covers is where we dive deeper into the game. The latest cricketing news, player statistics, match analysis, team strategies, and of course some predictions about where the game might be heading. Cricket today is evolving faster than ever. Teams are experimenting with new approaches, players are redefining roles, and data-driven decisions are becoming more important with every tournament. Through this podcast, the goal is to understand the game from that perspective, not just what happens on the field, but why it happens. And I think the perfect place to begin our first episode is with one of the biggest moments in recent cricket history, India's victory at the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. For the India national cricket team, this wasn't just another tournament win. It was a campaign that showcased planning, patience, and belief in a long-term strategy. What stood out throughout the tournament was the balance within the squad. Every department, batting, bowling, and fielding, had players who understood their specific roles. There was a clear sense of direction in how the team wanted to approach games. One of the most fascinating stories from that tournament was the emergence of Sanju Samson as India's opener. Now, if you look at the months leading up to the tournament, Samson's journey was far from smooth. He had a challenging run of form. In several matches before the World Cup, he struggled to convert starts into meaningful scores. In fact, there were close to 12 innings where things simply didn't work out for him. Naturally, questions began to surface. Was he the right choice at the top of the order? Should India look at alternative options? Would the team management make a late change before the tournament? But this is where the leadership group made a bold decision. India's head coach Gautam Gambhir and T20 captain Surya Kumar Yadav decided to back Samson completely. Instead of reacting to short-term results, they focused on the role he could play in the team's overall strategy. And that strategy was simple: aggressive intent during the power play. In modern T20 cricket, the first 6 overs often set the tone for the entire innings. Teams that can dominate the power play usually gain a significant advantage. Samson's natural batting style made him a perfect candidate for that role. He's an attacking player who likes to take on bowlers early, and when he finds his rhythm, he can completely shift the momentum of a game. Once the World Cup began, that belief from the management started to pay off. Samson looked far more confident at the crease. His footwork was decisive, his shot selection improved, and most importantly, he played with clarity. Rather than trying to prove a point, he simply focused on playing his natural game. Several of his innings provided India with explosive starts. Bowlers were immediately put under pressure. Field placements had to change early, and opposition captains were forced to rethink their plans. But Samson's impact went beyond just the runs he scored. His presence at the top of the order gave India tremendous flexibility in their batting lineup. For example, someone like Ishan Kishan could enter the game with the freedom to accelerate depending on the situation. If India already had a strong start, Kishan could continue attacking. If the team needed stability, he had the ability to build partnerships. Similarly, players like Abhishek Sharma benefited from that flexibility. Abhishek Sharma is naturally aggressive. His strength lies in putting pressure back on bowlers and disrupting their rhythm. With Samson setting the tone at the top, Abhishek could focus on playing his attacking style without worrying too much about rebuilding the innings. That structure made India's batting lineup unpredictable. Opposition teams found it difficult to prepare for a single approach because India had multiple players capable of shifting gears depending on the match situation. By the end of the tournament, Samson had not only silenced his critics, but had also established himself as one of the standout performers of the competition. His consistency, impact at the top of the order, and ability to deliver in key matches ultimately earned him the Player of the Series award. It was a remarkable turnaround, from a player under scrutiny to one of the most influential figures in the tournament. But while the batting unit attracted plenty of attention, India's bowling attack played an equally important role in the team's success. And no discussion about that campaign would be complete without talking about Jasprit Bumrah. Bumrah has already established himself as one of the most reliable bowlers in world cricket, but his performance in the final demonstrated exactly why he is so valuable to the Indian team. T20 finals are unique environments. The pressure is intense, every run matters, and momentum can change very quickly. In those moments, teams rely on players who can stay calm and execute their skills with precision. Bumrah delivered exactly that. His spell during the middle overs was crucial in slowing down the opposition's scoring rate. With his accuracy and control, he made it extremely difficult for batters to find boundaries. What makes Bumrah particularly dangerous is his variety. He can bowl sharp Yorkers at the death. He can use subtle, slower balls to deceive batters. And perhaps most importantly, he rarely gives away easy runs. During the final, that control forced the opposition into taking risks. As the required run rate climbed, batters had to attempt aggressive shots against a well-organized bowling attack. That's when mistakes began to happen. Once India sensed the pressure shifting in their favor, the entire team responded with greater intensity. The fielding improved. The bowlers executed their plans more confidently, and the momentum of the match gradually moved towards India. Moments like that often define championship victories. A strong batting performance might build the foundation, but disciplined bowling under pressure is what closes out tournaments. By the time the final overs arrived, India had firmly established control of the match, and when the final wicket fell, it marked the culmination of a campaign built on preparation, belief, and clear leadership. India lifting the trophy at the end of that tournament was a moment that reflected how far the team had come in its approach to T20 cricket. But as every cricket fan knows, the calendar never stays quiet for long. Because just as one major tournament ends, another exciting chapter in the cricketing world begins. And that brings us to the next big event that fans around the world are eagerly waiting for, the Indian Premier League. Every year, the IPL transforms the cricketing landscape. It's a tournament where international stars share the dressing room with emerging talents. Young players get the opportunity to perform on one of the biggest stages in franchise cricket, and experienced players compete in a format that demands innovation and adaptability. The opening phase of the IPL season is always particularly interesting. Teams are still exploring their combinations. Captains are experimenting with strategies. Coaches are assessing which players fit best into specific roles. Those early matches often reveal which teams have prepared well during the offseason. Momentum gained during the first phase of the tournament can have a huge impact on the rest of the campaign. Some teams start strong and carry that confidence throughout the season. Others struggle early but gradually find their rhythm. That unpredictability is one of the reasons why the IPL remains one of the most exciting cricket leagues in the world. In the next episode of Through the Covers, we'll begin our deep dive into the upcoming IPL season. We'll look at the opening fixtures, analyze the teams that appear strongest on paper, and discuss which players could make a major impact in the early stages of the tournament. There will also be plenty of tactical conversations about how teams might approach the power play, the middle overs, and the crucial death overs. If you're someone who enjoys understanding the strategy behind the game, that's exactly the kind of discussion we'll be bringing to the podcast. So if you're excited about the IPL season and want thoughtful cricket conversations throughout the tournament, make sure you stay tuned. This has been the first episode of Through the Covers. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode as the IPL fever begins.